Boy, I'm sticking with the robe routine. I got some feedback that it's kind of people enjoy it, I guess. Sunday morning, Sunday salutations with RZ in the desert. Just have a little sippers. Starbucks. Good morning. Let's go ahead and suit down, and then we'll dive in and see what bubbles up this morning. Okay, go ahead and give yourself a little traction up, a little traction down. And then imagine you expanding your space to the sides, front and back, becoming your full multidimensional self, inhabiting your physical body and your energetic pod. There's your aura. And just open up your physical body to be fed, soothed by your energetic body. Just allow them to make contact and awareness of each other. There are parts of you that you do not see, but that are ever present. Just like God's ever present, though you may not see Him or sense Him, it's forever always there and available, regardless of place. Just acknowledge the fact that you don't know half the things that are going on to support your existence, and that's amazing. Go ahead and salute that fact. Salute the mystery that is you and creation. Go ahead and salute teachers seen and unseen, the space you're currently in, the chair or object that's supporting you, whether it's the floor or a chair. And go ahead and salute your morning thus far. Salute yourself, each other out here in the cyber world, and wish us all a nice little chit chat on December 11th, 2016. Day before my birthday. Spoken like a real Sag. Oh, we're not Leos. We celebrate usually for a week. Leo celebrates for a month, you know. Though I have a Leo moon, so shocking. Anywho, we're going to tackle control. Honest to God, right? I mean, I know I've been talking about on and off, but a lot of the reactions to, you know, the election are people's realization that they don't have control. And for some reason, that upsets people. That's a genuine statement. I'm serious. It's like, when you get to a point where you realize, and this is part of the practice of this path, when you really fully realize the gift of not having to be in control, or well, the illusion that you're in control, when you realize that there's a freedom, when you really feel it and experience it, it's a game changer. Like you can feel, when you give up the idea of it needing, or that you can even actually have control, when you actually get graced the download and the experience, you almost want to fall down laughing, which I have done, thinking that all those years of being told that you're supposed to be in control, thinking you're in control and getting angry that you're not in control, you realize it's a state of insanity. And since most people are walking around trying to be in control of something that's not in control, that's not controllable, insanity looks normal. So since most people are walking around with this insanity, you don't even see it until you see it. Until you're on the other side going, oh my God, Rick. My prayer is that I humbly continue to get the experience of the freedom of not needing to be in control, and then being able to share that with people, modeling it, sometimes directly commenting on it. But you have to be careful, because people's deep commitment to wanting to feel in control is ferocious. So you can't just go, the direct approach is often not the best in this case, unless they're coming directly to see, ergo me or something, but I'm saying with your family or your loved ones, the last thing you want to say to someone is you're a control freak, you know, unless they themselves can joke about it, because people take this very seriously. Man, it was a while ago. So here are my questions to you. Well, these are reflective questions. These are not a once-off thing, you know. When you're in a state of insanity, when your insane gene goes off and you start wanting to be in control, ask yourself, what is it that I think I'm controlling? Look at my funny here. What is it that I think I'm controlling? And how come I feel like I need to control something? And then don't, like I said, go deeper. Don't just go to the first answer. Find out what this is. What are the commitments? What are the, promises that control convinces you that you'll attain? This need to control just is so distracting and so energy usurping that you miss out on half of your life, if not more of your life. You don't see, it's really a way of shutting down the peripheral vision. And the periphery out here is where a lot of magic and imagination and let's just sort of say there's a lot out here that wants to meet you and inspire you. But when you're in a control mode, you get very myopic and squished. And so this area shuts down and your life experience turns very flat and two-dimensional, which then perpetuates more control. Say the word to yourself right now, control. I am in control. I need to be in control and I feel out of control. What is that? I feel out of control. It's interesting. See, these are so subjective, you know. Again, only you know. There's a common physiology when you're in a control state that's pretty obvious, right? Contraction, restriction, rigidity, anxiety, panic. You know, the breath goes weird. You know, check it out. See what level of investment you have in needing to be in control and what it's doing to your body. That's another great way to start with any of this stuff that we're studying together. And control is fed by the small ego, right? It's all based, again, on my work, The Master Wound. It's like, it's all usually based on trying to avoid something that already happened by trying to control the environment. Even it's not fully conscious often, right, that you're responding to something from the past in the present. And some of you, you've been seasoned students long enough that you are starting to notice that. And that's the hair-raising moment, but you realize in that moment that you have freedom. When you give up control, you have your freedom. So what is it, guys? The constant question I'm always asking is, what do you want more? The false promises from phantom energies called control, fear, you know, like you have to base your life on, well, control is based on fear, right? Fear of experiencing something you don't want to experience, but you already probably have it. Yeah. So again, back to the question, what do you want? The same or freedom? The very serious question. These are all serious questions. I'm not saying them flip, and I'd humbly ask you to take them seriously and reflect on them over the next week. Let me read you a little something. This is from the Tao. I absconded with this book from one of my students. I will get it back to her eventually. This is chapter 2 of the Tao. It's a commentary on chapter 2, so I think it's beautiful. Acts without doing anything. Her actions are appropriate responses. Thus, they are effortless. She embodies compassion, yet she doesn't try to be compassionate. She doesn't struggle to make money, yet the joys spending it when it comes to her. She goes her own way, yet she accepts help gratefully and has no pride in walking alone. She is not elated by praise, nor discouraged by neglect. Very important. She doesn't give even a moment's thought to right or wrong. See, that's clear personal decisions, quick personal decisions like Rumi talks about, right? She laughs easily, she makes quick personal decisions, and she cries at the drop of a dime. Engaged, grounded feeling and action, and willing to take the consequences because you don't see them as consequences, it's just the next thing. She never has to make a decision. Decisions arise by themselves. She is like an actress who loves her role. The Tao is writing the script. The Tao is writing the script. Teaches without saying anything. The way she buys oranges or ties her shoelaces is a teaching. Her face is more eloquent than any scripture could be. That is why it lasts forever. Not in time and space, but in quality. Isn't that beautiful? And here I'll leave you with this little ditty. The gateway to all understanding. In order to understand, we have to remain in the darkness of not knowing. Yes, because that's where freedom resides, babies. That's where freedom resides. The need to not know and just participate from where you are authentically yourself. Okay. May the force be with you. You'll be receiving this. I'll put it on Facebook, but also you'll be receiving it in my newsletter. I'm going to start sending out weekly newsletters, smaller, so you have Sunday salutation, the class for that week that's available, pertinent information about my schedule, a quote. Sunday flashes, Sunday salutation, and you're going to get your flash. All right. Another day in paradise.